vegan mini apple pies. Let's get into it. Hey y'all, welcome back. So we're starting off by cutting our apples. Now these are the apples that I'm going to be using. I'm actually using some honey crisp apples, and I'm going to be using 3 of them. Of course, if you want to make more than you can, but I didn't want to make too many, and so yeah, I'm using 3. So you want to start by peeling off the skin of the apple. Now if you want to leave the skin on, you could definitely do that, but I decided to peel mine off, and I'm going to do that with all 3 apples. Once you get the skin all off, you want to cut the apples into diced slices, I guess you can say. So I'm basically just slicing all sides of the apple, and then I'm going to slice them or dice them into smaller pieces. In a skillet, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of vegan butter. Once it does melt down, we're going to go ahead and add our diced apples. And then we're going to add or make our filling. So I will be using 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, a half a teaspoon of vanilla, and also some vegan sugar, and also a squeeze of half of a lemon. You want to give that a nice little mix until everything is well incorporated, until it becomes bubbly. Once everything is mixed and bubbly, we're going to add about a teaspoon of cornstarch. Give that a nice little mix until it thickens up. This is what we want. We want it to be like a thick filling. We don't want it to be too watery. So this is the puff pastry that I'll be using for the crust, and y'all, I'm gonna let you know, it comes with one in the box, okay? So this is the one little sheet that it comes with. I thought that it may have come with more, but it doesn't. So we'll be using a glass to actually cut out the circles today. You can use a cutter if that's what you have, but this is what I have, so I'll be using a glass. And I want them in these little circular shapes. So as you can see, it's only gonna make about 6 circles using this size of a glass. So of course we're gonna have to ball the dough up and then reuse it. But if you want to make more apple pies, then I think I made 5 or 6 this recipe. If you want to make more than that, definitely get you 2 boxes of those puff pastries. But like I said, once I did those 6, I just basically took the dough and I just balled it up into a ball and then smashed it or rolled it out on some parchment paper. I am going to be rolling it out with a glass. You don't want to do this directly on the surface because let me tell you, it will stick. I tried to do it on my cutting board first. So you definitely want to smash it between or roll it between some parchment paper and then cut them out and just complete the process until you have no dough left. Once all the dough is gone, we are lining these up on some parchment paper and then we're gonna go ahead and add our filling. Now I'm gonna let y'all know, okay, I messed up by trying to use all of my filling. Now this right here, I'm using about a half of this tablespoon, right? So these circles, of course, you can see are not that big. Now 1/2 we're gonna be using for the top, and then of course the other half we're adding the filling to. So you wanna go ahead and add the filling, and then like I said, baby, put a little bit in there. Don't be trying to overstuff it, because I did realize that I overstuffed it, because you have to keep in mind that this puff pastry is vegan, so it does not contain any egg, which kind of makes it hard for it to like mesh all together and close. So you want to make sure that you do close these all the way. Like I said, as you can see here, I'm adding more and more filling, trying to overstuff them. Do not overstuff these things, okay? Because they will not close. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a minute. Anyway, once we go ahead and add all of the filling that we're going to add, I am putting a little bit of butter around the dough or the puff pastry. This is optional. I just wanted to see how it would actually work with doing this. I would just recommend putting it, if you're going to put it around, don't put it on the top piece, because it kind of made a lot of butter and it kind of like fried them in the bottom of the parchment paper. So I would just say just put the butter on top, okay? Once all the tops are on, as you can see, it won't close all the way. I put too much filling in there, but you want to make some little slits in the tops so that it'll allow the filling to breathe. And baby, some of them I did actually have closed and it's still kind of cooked unclosed. I don't know, but it worked out perfectly fine because I broke mine up and I ate it, you know, with ice cream or whatever, so it worked out fine. As you can see, I'm going to be adding some more butter on the top, and like I said, I would just recommend putting butter only on the top or only on the inside. Do not do both. I mean, you can if you'd like, because like I said, mine turned out good, but it makes just a whole lot of melted butter. But anyway, you want to go ahead and pop these on into the oven on 400, I think it was 425 is what the box said, and then allow these to bake until they are beautiful and golden brown. Next, I'm going to be making some vegan filling, so I am using some brown sugar. And did you know if you put regular sugar in a blender and blend it together, it makes powdered sugar? Baby, I saw it on TikTok. As you can see, it's smoking, child. That means it's working, okay? So that sugar turned into some powdered sugar, and we're going to make some icing with this. So I'm actually going to pour this powdered now sugar into a ramekin, and then I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of cashew milk, and then just continue to whisk it until it becomes the consistency that I like. I added as much powdered sugar to where it became like an icing, because what we're going to do is actually put this into a baggie, and then we're going to pipe this on top of the pies. Once the pies are out of the oven, I lined them up on a plate, and then I added my little icing. As you can see, the reason that it's brown is because this was coconut sugar that I'm using. Of course, you can use regular sugar if you like. Like I said, I did decide to add my little apple pies on with some ice cream. I am using some So Delicious, very vanilla. And baby, when I say these apple pies and ice cream bust so bad, y'all, this was so quick, so easy, and it bust beyond my expectation, to be honest. Comment down below if you're going to be trying this recipe. Comment down below just to let me know what you think. I do want to thank you so much for watching until the end of this video. Do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.